Okay, guys, thank you for those of you who hopped on. I know we changed the time to the afternoon, and that was kind of a personal decision just because I'm trying to focus more on having my evenings open for the family. So, way back when, that was just when everybody could jump on, most people. But now that we can record everything and post it, I'm just trying to get a little bit more into the afternoons, and hopefully that, kind of encourages you so that you know that when you have your team, that you know that you can plan your schedule and your team calls around whenever it works best for your life. That's kind of my focus this year, is just enjoying life and enjoying this whole, team building thing. Sorry. So anyways, I'm just kind of like rescheduling everything. So anyways, I'm glad for those of you who did hop on. And I'm kind of going to be going over, I'm just getting back from two very different conferences. One of them was the NLC, and then the other one was the Sedona trip. And two completely different vibes, but I think I picked up a lot of stuff from each of them, and I kind of want to share that with you guys. So, and first of all, I think I need to make an announcement about it, but the Digital Unlock is now available. So check out the online office if you're not exactly sure, the pricing details, but it's basically where you can have the Beachbody on demand and not get the CDs, and it's for a cheaper price. So that's pretty awesome for anybody who wants that. And I think they're only doing 3. I believe it's Size, T25, and one other one. So there's 3 programs that are on Digital Unlock. And if you can't tell, Beachbody is obviously moving towards the digital realm, which I think is a great thing that they're moving along with technology. So anyways, just letting you know that that's available. So one of the things at the NLC was, and I actually got to see Jeff Hill, so 2 times in the past 2 weeks, and he said the same story, and it's kind of funny because before he even came on the Sedona trip, we were like, I bet he's going to talk about the hedgehog and the fox, and it's called the hedgehog concept, but he's talked about it over and over for a very good reason. And so maybe you have heard him talk about it, but I'm going to relay the story back to you guys. And I hope you have pen and paper, because I'm going to have you guys, are there 2 Michelles on here? There's 2 Michelles. That's weird. I'm sorry. It's just like, who is that? Anyways, grab a pen and paper, because I'm going to have you guys write down a lot of questions and then kind of do some self-reflection afterwards. So the hedgehog concept is basically, so there's this cute little hedgehog, right? And he does one thing really, really well, and that's that he can sense danger, and he can hide up, and he can curl into a ball and just hide from his enemies, okay? The fox, which is more cunning and sexy, or whatever you want to call it, and he just sees like all these shiny objects, like, oh, diamond here, this, that, and you're pulling in like a million different locations, and it can be hard to focus on something. And at the end of the day, the hedgehog is the one that ends up winning, because he knows what he's good at. He does one thing really well, and he hides from his opponents, and he's learned how to do that. So I hope that you guys know what you do really, really well. And it's sometimes something that you don't even recognize that you do it really well. Sometimes somebody else has to tell you, you're really good at this, or you're really good at that. But you need to know what you're really good at so that you can focus on it and, outlast everybody. So these are the 3 questions I want you to write down. Number 1 is, what can you be the best at in your world? Not the world, that's a little ridiculous. What can you be the best at in your world? Okay. Number 2, what are you deeply passionate about? What are you deeply passionate about? And number 3, what drives your economic growth? Okay. In this business, we all kind of have the same answer here. And this is going to be our coaches, our personally sponsored coaches. There are lifers. I think I'm looking at everybody on here, and I know that you guys are lifers, like you're going to be with Beachbody forever type of thing. And so those were the 3 questions. What are you the best at in your world? What are you deeply passionate about? And what drives your economic growth? So just think about that, reflect on it, go home or you're home, write down some answers so you can think about that, but just know that little cute little hedgehog, even though you don't think that he would outwin the fox in like a race or a duel, because he knows what he's good at, he ends up winning in some fantasy land of Jeff Hill that he always tells that story. But I think it's really awesome. So after this call, I want you guys, this is like an action item, I want you guys to personally message if you have a coach, message them, or not like me, or like a personally sponsored coach or anybody on the team, and tell them something that they're really good at. Okay, like I said, sometimes somebody else needs to know what you think that they're good at before you can start thinking about it. So it doesn't even have to be somebody definitely on our team, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be somebody in your downline. It can be anyone on this call, but just take that step and that will make their day if you just sit there and tell somebody else what they're great at, and hopefully everybody else gets one back in return. Okay, another thing that we were talking about, or notes that I took, was from Melanie Mitro. And she said, products create revenue, but people create passion. And I'm going to back up 1 second. So I was thinking about this, like, what am I passionate about? And I know it's kind of a hard question to think about, and you might be like, oh, I can do the most push-ups type of thing, or whatever it is. I know that, like, I am really good at having a bunch of deep friendships, and I know that might sound weird, but I really do have, like, a lot of good girlfriends or whatever. I'm always I'm in like a trillion weddings, and this is a good thing, but people have always just told me, wow, how do you have so many like good friends? And they're not just like fake people, you know what I mean? And so that doesn't ever really click with me. But after I kept hearing this, wow, how do you have so many connections and good friends and stuff like that? I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's one of my strengths, and I just don't realize it because it comes so naturally to me, because I love people. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, even though it's something super generic like that, that is one of your strengths. So knowing my strength, that I, do like people and having friends, that, I can obviously apply that to this business. And I genuinely, want to be all of your guys' friends and stuff like that, like when we're in real life. So, and I don't know, hopefully you guys can feel that in the team vibe and stuff like that. But so think about outside of the box what your strengths are. So going on to the next thing, products create revenue, but people create passion. And so I'm super happy that I love people, because you people are what's going to create the passion. And if you have teams of your own, you need to be passionate. You need to carry that passion on within your team, because those people are what's going to create like long lasting revenue for you guys. And let's see. Hopefully that makes sense. If you don't believe that you can make a difference, then I want you guys to dive into personal development. If you're having a bad day or whatever, like, you need to know that you have a strength and that you can make a difference. And you need to understand that our company makes a difference too. So those are both things. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to go do my own thing and, try to be successful at this. Like, I hope you know that you are passionate, or you can make a difference, and the company. And, that was one of the big things at NLC, was just realizing really how amazing and in front of it our company is. Like I said, we're moving forward with technology. We're, trying to crack down on all the people who are downloading illegally or buying off Amazon, like all those little things. Jeff Hill gave a pretty cool, I guess it's an analogy. I don't know. Smarts is not one of my strengths, but I think it's an analogy. How do you capture an elephant? Okay? It's kind of a silly joke. How do you capture an elephant? Hi, Anna. So you dig a hole in front of the elephant. Okay? Leaders and good companies get in front of a problem. They recognize it and they can see it before it's even coming, and they can, that's if the elephant is the problem coming. If you're digging a hole in front of it, then you're going to capture that big elephant. And Beachbody is really, really good about doing that. And that's what makes me love our company even more, is because they recognize, okay, fitness is going digital. Okay, Amazon is a problem. Like, they're actively working on things. We're not perfect. We're not a great company. We're not like a perfect company, but we are a good company with great leadership. So that was just a really cool thing. And I'm sure Tressa and Jennifer can agree that we both were like, wow, they're like on top of it, Let's see. So where was I going with that? I forget, but now going on to Melanie Mitro's thing. So talking about your customers, creating your ideal like avatar, as we call it. I want you guys to write down these questions again, because there might not be something that immediately comes to your mind, or maybe it is. So customers, number one, who is your target audience or customer? Who's your target audience or customer? If you don't know this and you're just hoping that anyone and everyone can order from you, you're not going to speak to that person. They're just going to say, oh, if anyone can do it, then I'm just going to keep rolling, scrolling, you know. But if you make a really deep connection with somebody and they can feel it, then they're going to message you or be more relatable to you. So you need to know exactly who you're talking to in your post. If you're generic, yes, anybody can do this, but that's why our team is so amazing and why we're able to help so many people, because each of us have a different strength and a different walk of life that we're going to help people in. So think about that. Know exactly who you're talking to. Number two, what is the biggest burden they face? Okay, so you know your group right now, and I think we're actually, well, most of us on here, whoever's faces I'm looking at, we're all moms, right? So we know that it is difficult to get everybody ready and go to the gym and then get called out for childcare. You know what I mean? Like moms can kind of speak that language of, okay, if you just wake up 30 minutes earlier, you can get it done during nap time, or they're just, coloring. So anyways, if you know your person, if your market is a mom and you know that their issue is going to the gym, it's just a hassle of getting ready, then you can really genuinely speak about that because you're going through it. So that's super important. What problem are they facing? That specific target audience. Number three, how are you going to solve their problem? Okay. How are you going to solve that problem? Obviously, we'll hook them up with the world's best fitness programs and a healthy, easy meal. But genuinely, just that's how you can really speak to your audience, are knowing those three questions. And when you get writer's block and you don't know exactly what to say, go back to that list and you can think about that. And now, so that's talking about customers. And I love how this month with Teen Cup, we're talking about doubling our downline, because that's incredible. That's how we're going to build growth, build teams, build long-lasting, incomes here, is by recruiting more people, okay? At the end of the day, yes, we can all run amazing challenge groups, help lots of people. You know the drill. Like, we all help get results, but really, if we're making a business out of this, we have to recruit coaches. So I love that that's our theme this month, is recruiting coaches. And so now I want you guys to think about who you want on your team. If you don't know the vibe that you want for your tribe, you need to really sit down and think about that, okay? But here's a couple questions just to get you thought-provoking. So number one, who is your ideal coach? Let's be honest, we'll take anyone and everyone, right? If someone says, oh, I want to join your team, you're not going to say, no, you don't fit this avatar, you can't be in here. No, we welcome everybody, and that's why we do have lots of personalities. But if you want to create that team culture where everybody's loving on each other and all that kind of jazz, then you really do need to know who your person is, your ideal coach. So, and those don't need to be like body type or walk of life, like a certain age type thing, or it can be. But, when I think of an ideal coach, I think of someone who genuinely wants to help people, who is very friendly, who is looking for relationships, who will go out of their way for somebody else. So they're more like, what are those called? Attributes or qualities. Yeah, what qualities do you want in your coach? And then you can create your posts out of that. Okay, now number two is, how do you attract them? You have to be that person. You have to go out of your way for people. You have to genuinely want to help people. You have to, all those other things I said, if that's who you want to attract, then when you're writing down those things, you need to be that person, okay? Otherwise, they're not going to be attracted to you, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of just kind of narrowing down who your people are, so that we can all build our own tribes, right? If you're feeling all over the place like I was at the beginning of the year, like my first, January and February, my focus is really just to get organized. I'm not a naturally organized person. I am all over the place. My house is a disaster, but I can tell you where every little thing is, but it's just not where it should be type of thing. But I'm working on it. I actually made my bed today, pretty much just because you guys are here. But I typically don't make my bed, but it's something that we can, work towards and just, I don't know if you guys feel like that, but when your house is a mess, like you just can't concentrate on other stuff. So I'm working on getting organized, not just with housework, but with the business and follow-up stuff and team calls and all that kind of jazz. So if you're feeling all over the place, we don't all have to have the exact same schedule, but we do need to be focusing on how we can get organized as a coach. Our desk. Is our desk clean? Mine is not, but I'm working on it, just being honest. But a big way, we always talk about planning our months, and then it's like, holy crap, I forgot to, I did plan February, but I'm just saying, like, holy crap, it's February. I forgot to plan out all my groups for February. I'm not going to say you're screwed, but you're at a disadvantage. And if you want to feel on top of your game, you should have 3 months planned out in advance. And that's just kind of thinking more business-wise, and it's the quarters. The year is broken up into quarters, right? And Beachbody's very smart. Like, they're ahead of the game. They strategically plan those Super Saturdays, summits, all the live events are planned quarterly and stuff like that. So if you're feeling unorganized and stuff like that, I want to encourage you to plan out your months 3 months at a time. Yes, it might take you 30 minutes to an hour to sit down and like theme out all of your groups and stuff like that, but it's going to be worth it. That way February or March isn't going to catch up to you. And of course that was from Melanie Mitra, because she's super duper. She probably has the year planned out, but anyways, if you're that awesome, then go for it. And the other quote that we kept hearing was, your body is your business. Like, that's a scary one. I don't even like to say that out loud, but it's so true in our business. It doesn't mean that you need to be in tip-top shape, but it means that we need to be progressing forward. I recently did a Transformation Tuesday, and it was the opposite. I went in the reverse order, like, it's like, oh, Transformation Tuesday sucks when it's going in the wrong direction. But it was just the holiday fluff catching up to me, all that kind of jazz. But it's still, my body is my business. I didn't hide from it. I shined a light on it, and I knew I wasn't by myself. I knew that there were other people in the same situation, but it was a very good reality check that crap, like, I have not been sticking to my, I think I did good during that coaches group, but after that I kind of fell off. So anyways, if you are not on a program, you have to be, like, it doesn't even have to be a Monday, you guys. Like, just start today. If you hadn't got your workout in, for me personally, if I'm like, just crap, I haven't worked out in a week, which doesn't happen, but I'm like, I'm going to go for a run, because, even though that, that's just like my soulmate. I'm going to go for 30 minutes. I'm going to run. I'm going to think about something. And then I get home from my run. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to do T25. Like, that exercise high. Once you work out one time, then you're like, yes, I want to do it again and again and again. Hopefully. So just remember, if you're feeling like kind of crappy, your business isn't moving forward, ask yourself if you're sticking to your workouts. And remember, like, that quote, your body is your business. And that doesn't mean you need to be in perfect shape. It just means you need to be working on yourself in order for this business to advance. Like, that's just kind of the beauty of our business. Okay, now for anybody that's driving, I'm sorry, but maybe you can just think about this. So Amber Snow, let me see how long I'm running. Okay. Amber Snow was one of the coaches that came and talked to us, and she's pretty awesome. She was top 10, I think, in 2013. And she just has a really unique story. And I made a little video after we talked to her, so I don't know if anybody watched that or not, but she was talking about, like, you have to genuinely know what motivates you. And what motivates you may not be the right thing, or it might be selfish, or it might be like, oh, I'm not going to tell people that that's what motivates me, but who cares? At the end of the day, if that's what advances your business, you need to run with that. So she had us do this fun little exercise, and I just want to do it with you guys. And I'm going to give some quiet time for you guys to think and reflect on this while we're on here. I don't think we'll get cut off. So basically, number your paper 1 to 5. And I want you guys to think of 5 successes in your life. 5 like major events, major accomplishments, anything like that. 5 things that stick out to you in your life. So go ahead and write those 5 things down first. And I'll give you quiet time. And if you're driving, just think about it or go home and do this afterwards. What are 5 things that made a huge impact in your life? I could only get 4, I'm not going to lie. I was like, I've got to have more than 4 accomplishments in my life. So I know it's tough, so just keep thinking. Okay, now for anybody that has 5 or is still working on them, the next part of this is why were you excited about that accomplishment, or why were you excited about that successful event or moment in your life? Was it because everybody was clapping for you? Everybody was cheering you along? Is it because you wanted to prove somebody else wrong, that you could do something? Is it because what are some other ones? Is it because you felt like genuinely loved in that moment? What are some other reasons? And for those of you who hopped on, I think a couple people just hopped on, we're talking about 5 major events or moments in our life that were successful, and then writing right next to them why you were excited about them. And what you're going to notice here is that there should be a theme about what motivates you. I'll share a little bit of Amber's story. She was, and I had shared this in the story, but just to kill some time while you guys are still thinking, she was recently divorced and her husband told her something horrible. He was like, you're never going to be lovable. Nobody's going to love you again. She was 300 pounds, like overweight, just not very confident and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, oh yeah, F you. Oh, my internet is unstable. Hold on. Sorry, hopefully you guys can hear me. She was like, okay, F you, like I'm going to lose 100 pounds and I'm going to prove it to you that. Can you guys hear me? Hold on. Let me move up. Okay, sorry guys. I'm in my dungeon now. All right, so I don't know. What was the last thing you heard about Amber?
What her husband started to tell her that she was unlovable?
Yeah, so he was telling her that, basically you're super overweight, nobody's going to love you, and that pissed her off, clearly. And she was like, oh yeah, like I'm going to lose 100 pounds, I'm going to show you that I can do it, and I'm not going to be with you, because they were like divorcing at the time. And then when she started Beachbody, everybody kept saying, you're crazy, like you're never going to be successful at this. And she was like, oh yeah, F you, I'm going to go top 10. And she did. And so what motivated her when she made her, timeline of these 5 things was showing somebody else that she could do it, proving somebody else wrong. So if you guys look through your 5 things, and everybody's going to have something different, if you want to share with us, you totally can. But what's important is that your goals are centered around this thing, okay? So if somebody told you that you're not going to hit Success Club this month, okay? A husband, mom, coach, I don't know, that would be a horrible coach, but like somebody tells you that you're not going to do something and then you prove them wrong and say, yes, I'm going to do that. Or does anyone want to raise your hand and be brave and see if they can like find a common theme through theirs? Anyone want to unmute yourself? Teresa?
I'll tell you mine, because it was that was really fun. It was kind of like an epiphany. That was fun. I think I noticed the first thing that came to my mind in all of those is beat the odds. And it was like this, I like wanted, I don't know, that was kind of powerful. Like I want to see that I can do things that others can't, that I could beat the odds.
Beat the odds. I like that. So when you're thinking about your goal, like your goals should be reflected of, what you're motivated by. So what is something that is like an odd, or like something, how could you beat the odd? And like, how can you focus your goals around that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does anything come to mind?
Well, yeah, I guess I would put it, I think top 10 is something that not a lot of coaches ever kind of see. And so it's one of those things where, seeing that you can do things that others can't, like maybe, I don't know, just kind of beat the odds.
Definitely. Yeah. Like 10 people out of 400,000. Yeah. That'll do it. Anybody else want to share a common theme?
Sure, I'll share. I'm sorry, you guys can't see my face. This is Joanna.
Hi, Joanna.
Hi, I'm sick today. But I noticed that the common theme of like all 5 of mine was kind of feeling like I have purpose in life and things that make me feel good, like giving to others makes you feel better than like getting a gift, or, like there is a common theme of like feeling like you have purpose.
I love that. You're my girl, Joanna.
So I'm sitting here thinking about how I can apply this to my business, and it does make me appreciate this business even more, because I'm thinking that like this is what we do. We help people. We we help them to improve their lives physically, mentally. So I think I can focus more on what drives me now.
Absolutely. So results, right? Like really making a difference in somebody's life, whether it's being their friend or, getting that message is incredibly rewarding, and I'm sure you feel that way. And like you said, like giving back to others, that's kind of, I'm similar to you, as in just feeling that deep purpose. I think everybody wants to feel a purpose in life, but so I would encourage you, Joanna, if that is your goal and you're like, okay, just think about other ways that you can really make a difference in somebody's life. And what was the other one you said? Sorry. Help me out here. What am I saying? Make a feel fulfilled in life or whatever. Right. So making your goals centered around that. Like, so maybe rank, you don't care about your rank. Like genuinely what's going to fuel your fire is how many results and how many people you help get, lose their weight and feel happy about themselves. So you should like super duper be focusing on, and I'm sure you already are, but on your challenge groups, or even thinking bigger, like how can I give back to others? Like that random act of kindness thing, like maybe you want to instill that in your future team page, like really making a difference in someone else's life. Anybody else want to go?
I can share mine.
Okay.
One thing that really drives my business is, first of all, the close relationships that I've met. I'm a young mom. I mean, none of my friends really have babies yet. So I'm kind of targeting a wide variety of people. But one thing that has stuck close with my lifers and my team is definitely having those close relationships and helping each other out, as Joanna said, and making an impact in people's lives. And also proving others wrong. What's the fun if you can't prove others wrong?
Absolutely. I love that. So some like a goal that comes to mind for me, and I don't want to make your goals, I just want to encourage you to think about like, how can you create more those close relationships in your business? So maybe your goal is to make enough so that you can take your team out for brunch or something like that. Or you know what I mean? Like that would be awesome to make a post about that. Or like, not that you have to pay for it, sorry, but like just saying like, or just getting your team together and going out for drinks or something like that. Like obviously that, that is important to you. So making your goals centered around that. And that's good to know. I'm sure Teresa's like, all right, mental check. And I'll go ahead and share mine. And does anybody else want to share?
I can share.
Okay. Tiffany?
Okay. Danielle.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Sorry, you guys can't see me yet. Okay, so mine would be that I can prove to myself that I can do this, because I know personally, like, I've failed at a lot of things or just didn't try hard enough or gave up too quickly. So for me to do this long as I have, a year already, is like a big deal for me. So not only like helping other people, but proving to myself that, I can definitely do this. That's it.
I love that. Were you like the type of person that kind of starts and stops everything?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought
my husband was like, "Oh, you're not going to do that because you're just going to give up." And I was like, "No, I'm going to do it this time, I swear." And I did. So it's a big step.
That's awesome. So that's proving to yourself and kind of to others too, So what do you think would be a good goal for you to reach for that would be centered around that?
Well, right now I'm still not quite a diamond yet, but I'm almost there. So right now that's kind of like my main goal, because I think for me, I'll feel so much more accomplished once I reach that goal.
Awesome.
Because then I'm in it for the long run. So
definitely. All right, cool. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little exercise. I thought it was really self-reflecting. We still have some time. Does anybody else want to share and we can chat about it?
I'll share. It's Tiffany.
Okay, let's hear it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me try to get this. I have you guys on Bluetooth, so now I'm on the phone.
Okay.
Well, thinking about, I'm driving, so I couldn't write all that stuff down, so I was trying really hard to remember everything. But accomplishments, the 5 accomplishments in life, it goes back all the way to when I was a kid and I was so shy, and my mom put me in what's it called? Theater. And I mean, I hated it, but it really helped bring me out of my shyness. And then waiting tables and being able to get through that, I was scared of it. So I think that everything that I've always loved in life is things that have made me grow. And I think that Beachbody, that's what I really love about Beachbody, is that they really, really help people grow. And it's not just, about losing weight and or just getting healthier, which is amazing. And that's what I love, is just fitness and nutrition. But just growing as a person, and you grow so much, and there's just so much that Beachbody offers with the social media that I have so much to learn. But that's what really attracted me to it. And I'm looking forward to, I'm struggling. I don't have one coach under me. I've been, signed on for like 2 months, and but I really haven't put the work into it. But I'm looking forward to, I'm enjoying the journey, and I'm looking forward to growing through this and then seeing more results and then helping other people grow as well. So that's my thing.
Awesome. I love that, Tiffany. And I think I kind of knew that about you. For those of you who don't know, Tiffany actually quit a higher paying job to do something more that she loves in the fitness realm, but it also challenges her. And so that kind of explains a lot to you, that you like to be challenged, which that's good for me to know as well. And I hopefully you pursue that personal training certification that you have and run with that, because that would be challenging for you. But yeah, just think about your goals. So do a little self-reflection of that, and knowing like, okay, crap, that's going to challenge me, because obviously that's what fuels your fire, Anybody else? We have like a minute, so you might get.
Yeah.
No? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and end it. One of the things that I want you guys to look forward to, this month we have Team Cup. So everybody is kind of already in a little group that wanted to do it. But really knowing your team is super important. And hopefully, those of you who were doing this exercise are like, oh, that was a good self-reflection. Well, it's also super important to know your team and know how they tick and how they act. So if you have a team page, or even if you don't, just message your team. And if you want to do this exercise with them, that's cool too. But giving them that gemstone personality test really tells a lot about people. I mean, I know they're kind of silly, but it does help you be able to relate to them so that you can help your team reach their goals better. And in March, we're going to start doing like little Success Club pods full of people, and we're going to pair you up based on your gemstone, which would be kind of cool. So hopefully you guys look forward to that. And like I said, so the 2 action items after this: send your people, your personally sponsored coaches, the gemstone personality, and message somebody on this team one of their strengths. Okay? Good call? All right. Good night, guys. Oh, it's not good night. It's good afternoon, I guess. Yeah. Now you have your free night. All right. Bye.